Stepping life in the power of the tongue.
Speak life.
Stepping life in the power of the tongue.
Speak life.
Stepping life in the power of the tongue. Live your life, love Christ, do your best to
Speak life.
Stepping life in the power of the tongue.
Speak life.
Stepping life in the power of the tongue.
Speak life.
Stepping life in the power of the tongue. Live your life, love Christ, do your best to
Speak life.
Hello and welcome back to the Speak Life podcast. We are so excited for this new episode that we're putting out there. Shout out to all the people who have already subscribed to the podcast. We appreciate y'all. We're excited about what's going on. We love you guys for the support. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Turn your notifications on. Drop them comments. Drop them likes. Because it's you guys who are going to fuel this podcast. So once again, we're happy to have you out with us. And I am your host, Minister Phoenix, alongside my beautiful and amazing wife.
Hello. Welcome to the Speak Life podcast. We are so happy to have you here. This is your co-host, the one and only Sheikah. Welcome. Tonight is going to be a good night.
Ooh, it is going down. So tonight we have a hot topic and a really hard topic that we're going to talk about. And the thing about this one is it affects both Christians and non-Christians alike. You ain't got to be a Christian to deal with this topic. And that topic that we're going to talk about tonight is forgiveness. Ooh, forgiveness.
That's a big one.
Yeah, this is hard because forgiveness isn't an easy thing. No matter who you are, we know forgiveness is not an easy thing. So the first thing I just want to throw out there to get you guys thinking is like, when you hear that word forgiveness, what are some of the things that come to mind when you hear that word forgiveness? You want to go first? Because I got some stuff. Ladies
Yes.
first.
All right, I'll go first. So when I think about the word forgiveness, the first thing that comes to my mind is, to let go off of resentment, hurt, and how you feel about a person because of the things that they have done to you. Just let it all go and just act like it never even happened, which is very hard. But yeah, that's what I think.
My mind was not there. When I think of forgiveness, I'm like, someone done did me wrong. I think of someone getting something done to them, maybe someone getting hurt. Someone doing something they wasn't supposed to do. There's a whole, flurry of different things that kind of come to mind when we think about that word forgiveness, and the real meat of what we want to talk about tonight is this. And this is probably going to be the most difficult part of the conversation. Is it easier to forgive? Or is it easier to ask for forgiveness? And I really want, you, the listener, to chime in on this. Throw some comments in there because we know for sure with this piece, this is gonna have to be like 2 different episodes because we really want to dive in this. So I'm gonna send this your way. What do you think? Is it easier to forgive, babe, or is it easier to ask for forgiveness?
Wow, this one is okay. So I'm gonna go with, I think that it's harder to forgive. For me, at least, I think. So I think it's harder because when someone did something to you that's hurtful, that's painful, it's really hard to just act like it never happened. It's really hard to just act like they didn't mean it when everything that they show you and everything that they did tells you that they mean it. They meant to do it. So I'm going to say, I think it's harder. It's really hard to just let it go. It's hard to drop it. It's hard to act like it never happened.
So I have to be honest. I didn't have a real right or wrong answer for this. I was looking at both sides and I kind of stumped myself with this. So I really wanted to talk about it. So we'll start on the forgiveness side. You said it's harder to forgive. And I wonder with that in mind, what are some of the difficulties we have when it comes to forgiveness? One of the first things I think about is pain. When someone does something to you that hurts, it's like I don't know if I can forgive you for that. And one of the things that pain will do to you is like if someone causes you pain and you don't work through that and you don't deal with that, only one thing's gonna come from that pain. You know what that is? Bitterness.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. When you hold on to that, when you dwell on that, when you sit in that, there's only one thing that comes from that, and that truly is, bitterness. And there's two things that I really thought about when it comes to why forgiveness is hard, and it's pain and pride.
Oh,
I'm gonna say that again.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back who ain't heard me. There's two things that really will make forgiveness hard. That's pain. And that's pride. Mm-hmm. Yes, I said it. I said pride. And what I mean by this is this. Especially when you get wronged unfairly. When you feel like someone has done something to you that you may not necessarily deserve. When pain mixes up in that pride and you're like, but yo, why am I going to forgive them when they did this to me and I didn't deserve it? When you start feeling like you don't deserve what you're getting, your pride will stop you from wanting to forgive someone, even though you know that you should do it.
You're preaching, baby. You're preaching. Yes.
Pride, I'm telling you, pride is so dangerous because when you dwell in that bitterness and you start pride will allow you to justify doing something that you should not be doing when it comes to forgiveness. Like forgiveness is something that is absolutely necessary for us to do. And the reason I say this, and like I said, I come from this Christian, well, not really a Christian background, but I'm a Christian. So I'm not really sure what that would be. Well, I'm a Christian. So therefore I look at everything from that Christian perspective first. But when I think about it, even if I wasn't a Christian, one of the things that we have to realize as people is when we forgive people, believe it or not, and this might be a secret to some of you, so you can write this down like we in a classroom. When you forgive someone, you are forgiving someone for your peace and not theirs. And that's where we get caught up a lot. We think that when we're forgiving someone, we're forgiving them because they deserve it. And we make them think that we forgot about it and we want to move on. But believe it or not, the primary purpose that we need to forgive people for the things that they do is so that we can have peace of mind for ourselves.
Yes. I love it. And when I think about, forgiveness in a biblical concept, it's like, the fact that Jesus, he died for us, he forgive us, and every day we are sinning. Every day we are sinning. We are sinners. Whether or not we're Christian, we are sinners.
Sinning hard.
So every day we are sinning, and God is forgiving us every day. So the same way that, he's forgiven us, it's the same way we need to forgive others. And it's not easy, but it's something that you have to decide to do. And as Minister Phoenix says, if you do not forgive, you're doing yourself more harm than good. So, yeah.
And really just touching on that piece, I look at it, and like you said, if we're looking at it from a biblical standpoint, it's like there's a lot of times where something will happen to us and the person who does it, they don't deserve that forgiveness. We're not going to sit here and be like, well, you know what? They deserve to be forgiven. No, there's nothing that they can do to really deserve to be forgiven. But then when I look at, what Christ did for us, like there's plenty of times that we done sinned, knew good and well what we was doing and did it anyway, didn't deserve that forgiveness. And what did God do? God went and forgave us anyway. He's like, you know what, boy? I know that you knew what you was doing. I know that you jumped in this feet first, knowing what was going to happen. I know that you was acting crazy and you knew you was acting crazy. But I love you so much, I'm going to forgive you anyway. And just to wrap it up on the piece about pride, man, like pride is so crazy because pride will have you rationalizing why you hate someone, why, pride and pain together are a dangerous combination. And meanwhile, you're sitting there holding on to that and you being mad and you being upset. And the person that hurt you, they going on with their daily life. And every day you dwelling on that. This is pride now. Pride got you dwelling on it because you bitter now because you ain't want to deal with that pain in the right way. And they going on with their life and you sitting there upset. You sitting there wondering like, well, how they going to be doing well and going on with their life when they did this to me and they did that to me and they acted crazy towards me. And it's like, when you forgive, and I can't stress this enough, when you forgive, you are doing justice for yourself. You're giving yourself peace of mind to move on in your life.
So I just wanted to say this. Sometimes a person may do something to you and they don't even know that they did that or they did the thing to you. So you holding them for that and not wanting to forgive them, it doesn't make sense. Because unless you tell them, like, you did this and you really hurt me, then they're not going to know. So sometimes we're holding people and we're not forgiving people for stuff that they don't even know that they did.
And just touching and just really piggybacking on that, I think a lot of times actions and things that people may say really get lost in translation. And what I mean by that is, like, I could do something to you and in my mind when I'm saying it, maybe I'm trying to be, supportive or trying to give you like something that would encourage you in something that you're doing. And rather than you receiving it how I thought you was going to receive it, it gets misinterpreted and you may take it as, oh, they're just criticizing me. Oh, they're just looking for something to say about me. Oh, they just want to, try to down me because of what I'm doing. And that can really be something that can cause you to hold on to like unforgiveness towards someone because you misinterpreted their intentions and what they were doing. And I think with that piece is like a missing communication piece that we have as people. It's like when people do things that we don't necessarily like, depending on your personality, of course, because I'm looking across the room at this beautiful woman right here. And as much as I love her, if I'm doing something that she don't like, or if I say something she don't like, she gonna tell me. She ain't gonna hold on to it.
That's right.
She gonna be like, babe, I love you, but listen. And I'm gonna, and I gotta take it because at the end of the day, it's like one of the things missing parts that we have as people is this communication and empathy piece. And because we don't communicate, we expect people to be like us. And I think that's one of the biggest things that really gets us is when we look at people and we're expecting people to be the same way that we are. So it's like we think that, well, I don't act like this, so they shouldn't act like that. Or I wouldn't do this, so they shouldn't do that. Or I wouldn't say this, so they shouldn't say that. And you have to realize, like, you probably hear me say this in a lot of different episodes that we have. People are complex. They are very complex individuals. Our personalities are unique. The things that you may do and you may like, I may not. So I can't expect you to be like me. As the Bible says, we were all fearfully and wonderfully made by God. So we're all different, and how we respond to things may be different. So actions can get lost in translation. Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
So another thing on this forgiveness piece that I really want to touch on is this thought that when you forgive someone for something that they've done or something that they said, sometimes we as people think that giving someone forgiveness is a sign of weakness. It's like, oh, well, if I forgive them, they're going to think that what they did was okay. Or if I forgive them, it's going to make me look weak. Or if I forgive them, it's going to make them think that they can just walk all over me. You know, and that really hinders us from being able to move on in our lives and get closure with things. It's because, you know, we're still holding. We don't want to let that go. We want to hold on to that because they can't be looking at me like I'm weak. They can't be thinking they can do or say whatever they want to me. Nah, that's not cool. But really, and I can't stress this enough, forgiveness is more for you than the person that wronged you. And I remember this amazing quote that our bishop said. And I know, just talking to my wife, whenever we talk about this sermon that he was preaching, she always brings it up. He said that unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the person that hurt you to die. Think about that for a second. I'll repeat it because it's that good. Unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the person that hurt you to die. When we're bitter and in pain and we refuse to forgive, we will never be able to move on. So I think we're just going to leave this right here for now, because I could go on with this all day. I'm going to be real. I really love this topic, you know, because I feel like forgiveness is so necessary. And yet still we run around holding on to things that hinder us from really being free in our lives and being able to move on in a lot of situations. And it causes us to be bitter and not being able to experience life as great as it is. So this is part 1, forgiveness, part 1. So for the next episode that we'll do, we'll be exploring the other side of this. And I think it's going to be amazing and exciting.
Yes. So, just to wrap up, I think forgiveness is definitely necessary. In order for you to get to where you need to get to in life, you're going to have to forgive. And as a Christian, in order for me or you as a Christian to get to where God needs you to be, you're going to have to forgive. You cannot get to where God needs you to be without forgiveness.
Yes. So, like I said, very excited about this episode. And remember, death and life is in the power of your tongue. So in everything, speak life. Oh yeah. Remember to, subscribe, share, get those comments in there, like it, be a part of this. And we're just so excited about everything that, you guys are doing to support this. We love you. And be blessed.
We love you. Be blessed.